There's a moment that happens to everyone, but most people miss it completely. It's the moment when the universe decides you're ready for your next level of existence, and it starts speaking to you in a language you've never been taught to understand. Right now, as you're watching this, there's a very good chance you're in that moment. Something drew you here. Something made you click on this video out of the thousands of others you could have chosen. That's something. It wasn't the algorithm. It wasn't coincidence. It was the universe trying to get your attention, because you're about to enter a phase of your life that will redefine everything you thought you knew about reality. But here's the problem. The universe doesn't speak English, Spanish, or any human language. It speaks in symbols, patterns, feelings, and what most people dismiss as weird coincidences. And if you don't learn its language, you'll miss the most important messages you'll ever receive. Let me tell you about Sarah. 3 months ago, Sarah was stuck in a job she hated, in a relationship that drained her soul, living in a city that felt like a prison. She was depressed, anxious, and convinced that life was just something that happened to her, not something she could actively create. Then weird things started happening. She kept seeing white feathers everywhere. Not just 1 or 2, but dozens. In her car, on her desk, outside her apartment door. Her friends thought she was losing it, focusing on random bird feathers. But Sarah felt something deeper. These feathers felt like messages, like someone or something was trying to tell her something. Then the numbers started. 444 on her clock when she woke up naturally. 444 on license plates during her commute. Her coffee total at exactly 444. Her gym membership renewal notice? You guessed it. 444. Most people would dismiss this as selective attention, as the brain's pattern-seeking behavior gone wild. But Sarah decided to do something different. She decided to listen. Within 2 weeks of paying attention to these signs, everything changed. The white feather pattern led her to notice a flyer for a spiritual retreat that someone had dropped. The retreat was $444. She decided to go. At that retreat, she met someone who offered her a job opportunity that doubled her salary and aligned with her passions. She also met the person who would become her soulmate. 3 months later, Sarah is living in a new city, doing work she loves, in a relationship that feels like coming home. All because she learned to speak the universe's language. But Sarah's story isn't unique. It's actually the natural way life is supposed to unfold when you understand how cosmic communication really works. You see, the universe operates on frequencies, on vibrations, on energy patterns that exist far beyond what our 5 senses can detect. And when you're ready for a major life upgrade, when your soul has grown beyond your current circumstances, the universe begins broadcasting on your frequency, sending signals designed specifically for you. These signals come in waves, and there are 5 distinct phases that everyone goes through before major life transformation occurs. Understanding these phases can literally change the trajectory of your entire existence. Phase 1 is what I call the whisper phase. This is when subtle signs start appearing, so subtle that most people miss them entirely. You might notice certain animals showing up repeatedly. Maybe you keep seeing hawks or butterflies keep landing near you, or cats keep approaching you in unusual ways. Each animal carries symbolic meaning, messages about what's coming in your life. Hawks represent vision and perspective. If hawks keep appearing, the universe is telling you to rise above your current situation and see the bigger picture. Butterflies symbolize transformation. Their presence means you're in a metamorphosis phase, even if you can't see it yet. Cats represent independence and intuition. They show up when you need to trust your inner knowing more than external opinions. You might start having vivid dreams that feel more real than your waking life. Dreams where you're flying, or discovering new rooms in your house, or meeting people who give you important information. These aren't just random neural firings. They're your subconscious mind processing information from higher dimensions, receiving downloads about your future that your logical mind isn't ready to accept yet. Colors become significant during this phase. You might find yourself drawn to certain colors you've never cared about before, or the same color keeps appearing in your environment in unusual ways. Blue represents communication and truth. If blue keeps showing up, new information or important conversations are coming. Green symbolizes growth and abundance. Red indicates passion and action. Purple connects to spiritual awakening and intuition. Songs start playing at exactly the right moment with exactly the right message. You'll be thinking about something specific, and suddenly a song comes on the radio with lyrics that speak directly to your situation. Your streaming service will randomly play a song you haven't heard in years, and the message hits you like lightning. This isn't artificial intelligence or sophisticated algorithms. This is the universe using technology as a communication device. But here's where most people make their first mistake. They notice these signs, feel the magic, but then their rational mind kicks in and dismisses everything as coincidence. They talk themselves out of the very guidance they've been asking for their entire lives. Phase 2 is the amplification phase. This is when the universe realizes you're not getting the whisper, so it starts turning up the volume. The signs become more obvious, more frequent, and more impossible to ignore. Numbers become a major player in this phase. You start seeing repetitive number sequences everywhere. 1111, 333, 555, 777. These aren't just random digits. They're numerical codes containing specific information about your spiritual development and life path. 1111 is the universe's wake-up call. It means you're entering a period of spiritual awakening and manifestation. Pay attention to your thoughts when you see 1111, because those thoughts are more likely to manifest into reality. 333 represents the presence of ascended masters and spiritual guides. They're trying to get your attention because you have important spiritual work to do. This number often appears when you're about to step into your divine purpose. 555 signals major life changes coming. The old structures in your life are about to shift dramatically. Don't resist the changes. They're leading you toward your highest good. 777 is a sign that you're on the right path spiritually. You've been doing the inner work, and the universe is confirming that you're aligned with your soul's purpose. During the amplification phase, technology starts acting strangely. Your phone might call people without you touching it, and those accidental calls lead to important conversations. Your computer might malfunction in ways that force you to discover new information. Apps might send you notifications that feel eerily relevant to your current situation. People from your past start reappearing. Old friends reach out after years of silence. Former colleagues contact you with opportunities. Ex-partners send unexpected messages. This isn't nostalgia or random social media activity. The universe is bringing these people back into your orbit because they have something to contribute to your transformation, or because you have something to offer them. Your sleep patterns change during this phase. You might start waking up at specific times regularly, like 3:33 a.m. or 4:44 a.m. These wake-up calls aren't insomnia, they're spiritual appointments. Your soul is more receptive to guidance during these quiet hours when your rational mind is less active. Phase 3 is what I call the disruption phase. This is when the universe realizes that gentle signs aren't enough to move you toward your destiny, so it starts dismantling the structures in your life that are keeping you stuck. Your job becomes unbearable, even if it was tolerable before. Your boss becomes more difficult, your workload becomes overwhelming, or the company culture becomes toxic. This isn't bad luck. This is the universe making your current situation so uncomfortable that you're motivated to seek something better. Relationships that were stable suddenly become strained, arguments increase, communication breaks down, or you simply start feeling like you're growing in different directions. This doesn't mean the relationships are doomed, but it does mean that everyone involved is being pushed to evolve or release what no longer serves. Your living situation starts feeling wrong. Your apartment becomes too small, too big, too noisy, too quiet. Your neighborhood begins to irritate you in ways it never did before. Your belongings start breaking or malfunctioning more frequently. This is environmental pressure designed to motivate change. Your health might be affected during this phase, not serious illness, but persistent minor issues that force you to examine your lifestyle, your stress levels, your self-care habits. Headaches, digestive issues, sleep problems, or low energy that conventional medicine can't fully explain. Your body is processing the energetic shifts happening in your life, and it's asking you to slow down and pay attention. This is the phase where most people panic. They try desperately to fix everything, to get back to normal, to restore stability. But fighting the disruption only prolongs the discomfort. The universe is trying to move you, and resistance makes the process more difficult than it needs to be. Phase 4 is the acceleration phase. This is when the signs become undeniable, when synchronicities multiply exponentially, when the magic becomes so obvious that even the most skeptical person would have difficulty dismissing it. You start meeting the right people at exactly the right time. Conversations with strangers lead to life-changing opportunities. Someone mentions a book, course, or experience that perfectly addresses something you've been struggling with. You're introduced to people who become crucial connections for your next chapter. Doors that were locked for years suddenly swing wide open. Job opportunities appear from nowhere. Financial resources become available when you need them most. Living situations resolve themselves almost magically. Travel opportunities arise that take you exactly where you need to be for your next phase of growth. Your intuition becomes laser sharp during this phase. You know things you have no logical reason to know. You get gut feelings about people and situations that turn out to be remarkably accurate. You have impulses to go certain places or make certain calls that lead to exactly what you needed. Information starts flowing to you effortlessly. You overhear conversations that contain exactly the guidance you were seeking. Books fall off shelves at the perfect moment. Articles appear in your social media feed that address your specific questions. Podcasts or videos randomly play with information that feels personally directed to you. Your manifestation abilities accelerate dramatically. Things you've been trying to create for years suddenly start materializing rapidly. But there's a catch. The universe only manifests what's truly aligned with your highest good, not necessarily what your ego thinks it wants. Phase 5 is the integration phase. This is when the major transformation actually occurs, when all the signs and synchronicities culminate in the life change the universe has been preparing you for. But here's what most people don't understand about this phase. It rarely looks like what you expected. The universe's version of your dreams is usually far more magnificent than anything you could have imagined, but it might come packaged differently than you anticipated. You might have been asking for a better job, but the universe delivers your own business. You might have been seeking a romantic partner, but the universe brings you a spiritual twin flame. You might have wanted to move to a new city, but the universe guides you to a completely different country. During integration, your entire identity shifts. Old fears dissolve, limiting beliefs crumble. You discover capabilities you never knew you had. Your confidence increases not because you're trying to be confident, but because you're finally aligned with who you really are. People comment on how different you seem, even if you haven't consciously changed anything about your appearance or behavior. Your energy signature has transformed, and everyone around you can sense it. Now let me share the most important part of this entire process. Learning to recognize and trust these phases doesn't just help you navigate one major life change. It teaches you to live in constant collaboration with universal intelligence. Once you understand this language, once you develop the sensitivity to read the signs, your entire relationship with life transforms. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstances and start feeling like a co-creator in an incredibly intelligent cosmic dance. But there are common mistakes people make that interrupt this process or slow it down significantly. The first mistake is demanding immediate logical explanations for everything. The universe doesn't operate according to linear logic. It operates according to energetic resonance, divine timing, and soul agreements that were made before you incarnated into this lifetime. When you insist that everything make perfect rational sense, you cut yourself off from higher guidance. The second mistake is sharing every sign and synchronicity with people who aren't spiritually aware. Most people will dismiss your experiences as coincidence, imagination, or wishful thinking. Their skepticism can actually interfere with the process because doubt is a low vibration that blocks higher guidance. Keep your sacred experiences sacred until you find people who understand this language. The third mistake is trying to control how the transformation unfolds. You might receive signs pointing toward a specific direction, but then try to micromanage every detail of how it happens. This creates resistance in the flow. Your job is to follow the guidance and trust the process, not to orchestrate every step. The fourth mistake is ignoring signs, because they're leading you toward something that scares you. The universe often guides us toward our greatest growth through our greatest fears. If the signs are consistently pointing toward something that terrifies you, that's probably exactly where you need to go. The fifth mistake is waiting for perfect clarity before taking action. The universe doesn't give you the complete roadmap up front. It gives you the next step, and then the next step after that. You have to be willing to move with partial information, trusting that more will be revealed as you go. So how do you develop this ability to read universal signs? How do you become fluent in this cosmic language? First, cultivate stillness. The universe speaks in whispers, and whispers can only be heard in quiet moments. Daily meditation, even just 5 minutes, creates the internal space necessary to receive guidance. Walking in nature without distractions, journaling without agenda. Any practice that quiets the mental chatter creates room for higher wisdom to emerge. Second, pay attention to your first instincts. That immediate gut reaction you have to people, places, and opportunities is usually more accurate than anything your analytical mind produces. Your intuition is your direct line to universal intelligence. The more you trust it, the stronger it becomes. Third, notice what energizes you and what drains you. The universe is constantly guiding you toward experiences that raise your vibration and away from those that lower it. Your energy levels are a reliable compass for navigating life decisions. Fourth, keep a synchronicity journal. Write down the signs, patterns, and meaningful coincidences you notice. Over time, you'll start seeing larger patterns and themes that reveal the universe's communication style specifically for you. Fifth, practice gratitude for the signs you receive. Appreciation amplifies the signal. When you acknowledge and thank the universe for its guidance, you invite more communication. Gratitude is the language the universe speaks most fluently. There's something else I need to tell you about this process. Once you start seeing the signs, once you begin trusting this guidance, there's no going back. You can't unsee the magic. You can't return to believing that life is random or that you're powerless to create change. This awareness comes with responsibility. You become accountable for following the guidance you receive. You can no longer make excuses about not knowing what direction to take because the universe is constantly providing direction. You can no longer claim to be a victim of circumstances because you're actively participating in creating those circumstances. But this responsibility is also your greatest gift. When you're co-creating with universal intelligence, when you're following divine guidance instead of operating solely from ego and fear, your life becomes an adventure beyond anything you could have imagined. The synchronicities don't stop after major transformations. They become a constant feature of your existence. You live in a perpetual state of magic, always receiving guidance, always being supported, always moving toward greater expressions of your highest potential. Right now, in this moment, the universe is speaking to you. The fact that you're here, that you've listened this long, that these words are resonating with something deep inside you, this is itself a sign. You're being called to step into a more conscious relationship with the intelligence that orchestrates all of life. The signs you've been noticing, the patterns that have been emerging in your life, they're real, they're important, and they're leading you towards something magnificent that your soul has been longing for. Your transformation isn't coming. It's already begun. It started the moment you opened your awareness to the possibility that there's more to life than what meets the eye. The moment you considered that maybe, just maybe, the universe is far more intelligent and benevolent than you ever dared to believe. So pay attention, stay awake, trust the process, follow the signs. Because the universe has been preparing something incredible for you, and all the pieces are finally falling into place. Your moment is now. Your change is here. And the universe is celebrating because you finally learned to listen to its whispers before it had to shout.